Hey Faco, I've just sent you the request. Let's wait for Marcos to join and then we can start. Well, today we won't have Federico nor William, but we will focus on the Mendoza agreement that we are very happy and excited to share with you. And we will also be sharing the details of this agreement and what it means for Kleros. So let's wait for Marcos to join and then let's start.
I think you're muted.
Yeah, let's just wait 1 minute more for Marcos to join. I think he's having issues with his connection, but I think he will join soon. And then let's start. There he is. Okay, Marcos just sent you the request. So let's start today's community call. Well, thanks everyone for coming, for attending. Today it's this week we had a very special announcement. We finally could disclose that we signed an agreement with the Supreme Court of Mendoza, and we have today Marcos and Facundo, who were working directly with the people from Mendoza to get this to happen, and they will tell us what it means, how the process went, how was the result of the first pilot case that we had. I think we already discussed this before on a couple of community calls, but it's great to refresh it, and most importantly, how this collaboration will continue moving forward. So I don't know if Facundo or Marcos, who wants to go first.
Sure, I can start, and later Facundo can add something else. And if you can hear me well, I can start.
Yeah, there's a bit of noise, but we can hear you.
Of
If you
noise?
can, yeah, like I don't know, for me at least, but we can hear you well. If you can switch microphones, maybe that's better. But I can hear you.
Sure, let me change.
Yes, now that's
Okay,
better.
well,
Yeah.
yes, I think it was the headphones. So yes, well, so I will start with the questions that you were doing about the Mendoza integration. This integration started in February when we went to Mendoza to do a workshop for some a community that we have there. We did a workshop in the Justice Palace of Mendoza. One of the one girl that was part of the workshop is I don't know how to say. Well, let's say that is part of the jury of Mendoza of Lavalle, and she was interested in doing in trying Kleros in Lavalle, that is this department from Mendoza. So we started working with her. At the beginning, we did a first pilot case where Facundo helped us a lot. The pilot case worked. The jurors vote the same way that this case was resolved last year when it was when it was solved for real. Again, this was a good experience. After this, we start working in this agreement that was worked by the it was worked by the Mendoza Supreme Court. Sorry, that it was approved 2 weeks ago, and as Jean mentioned, as Jean just mentioned, we did the comms yesterday, and after this we start receiving a lot of questions, of good questions from our community, from Argentina Web3 community, and people that it's outside from the Web3 community, as some some companies that were interested in doing something similar with Kleros. And now, about the last question that Jeans asked about how are we going to continue with this integration? Well, the idea is to do a few more pilot cases during this year. Actually, there's one that is almost ready, that is going to be created or this week or the next one. It's going to be uploaded in the blockchain No Technica. And then if these pilot cases go well, the idea is that for next year start resolving real cases for Lavalle, real neighbor and consumer conflicts. Besides that, one of the objectives that have the people from Mendoza, Mario and the people that is like behind this, making a lot of effort to go ahead with this. So, well, one of their ideas is to make a court just with jurors from Mendoza. This is something that we are still studying, but well, the idea is to achieve it for 2025. We are going to attend to a very important congress in Mendoza with Facundo on October the 30 and the 31, where we are going to make a presentation of Kleros and a workshop. And the idea is to, from that congress, to to more people to know Kleros and maybe have some new jurors from Mendoza in this court that is going to be resolving real cases for Lavalle. I don't know, Facundo, if you want to add something else.
I want to add something before Facundo. It just for people to understand like the context of this agreement. As Marco said, there's a Supreme Court judge called Mario Adaro in Mendoza that he is very in favor of innovation in justice and in legal tech. He supports lots of initiatives, and one of the activities or the organizations that he promotes is called Jus Mendoza Lab, and they will be the ones that monitor and help in this. We'll monitor and help this collaboration, and they also were the ones that we did a workshop in March, and this is also like just to tell you a little bit more about the whole the context of Argentina right now. There's with the change of administration, there's also a lot of initiatives to promote modernization and digitalization, and also adoption of Web3 technologies. And we believe that this will be one of the flagship cases of adoptions in this context. So it's very nice that Mario is supporting us, and that it will to be part of this bigger story. And maybe Facundo, one of the I know that you have lots to share about this, but one of the things that I think it will be interesting to hear more about is about what were the what was the reaction from the people from the Supreme Court when they read the evidence that the jurors have shared, and how do the time and cost of jurors compare with the traditional courts? Because this, I believe this is this will be interesting to understand what are the benefits of using Kleros over using the traditional system.
Thanks, Gene. So basically, for the first question, how did they receive this first pilot case? I think it was received with optimism, seeing that Kleros jury could solve a case that was of medium or high complexity. I'm talking about this pilot case about car accident that had like a, it was not that simple. There were arguments to solve in favor of one party and the other. The actual decision of the jury was to that both parties were responsible of the accident. So that was exactly the decision of the jury of the first instance and the appellate court. So this was interesting. It was interesting to see that some jurors actually used the same arguments that the court used when deciding in the real case. Besides this, I think it's a first step. We have some further pilot cases, some further tests to do. So, but it's an important one. And related to your second question, about costs, about time efficiencies, I believe, in my opinion, that Kleros is a very useful solution, a very useful tool for small claims, for low complexity cases, in which you don't have a real solution because high costs and inefficiencies from the state can hinder the possibility of solving your case. So for me, like traffic let's say traffic cases, small consumer cases, that type of disputes, that those are the ones that Kleros, I think, can be a real solution now, that can have a lot of you can solve disputes in a really lower time than in the current state dispute resolution systems. And for me, that's the real use case.
Yeah, interesting. Maybe one of the maybe if the costs are lowered, there are cases that wouldn't be solved in the traditional justice. Could be solved by Kleros, right? Because maybe there's even a gap between what people try to solve and what people don't even try because they know it won't be worth it, right?
Yeah,
I think that this is one of the things that when we talked with people from the courts, this is the area that they want to attend more. So another question about this is regarding the time of that Kleros solved this case. If I'm not mistaken, the time for uploading the content of the case to the court and until the first verdict or the first results of the first round were around 1 week, right? 7 days. Of course, there's a lot of time before getting to that point where well the parties generate their claims, right? But do you think this is an improvement over the traditional courts?
I think it's an improvement over the traditional courts. Yes, but we have to take into account that it's not fair to compare like the time of resolution of traditional court from the beginning to the end and the one from the pilot case. Let's say Kleros solved this case in 1 week, and saying that the traditional court solved this in 1 year, because throughout the year you have parties presenting the claim, filing the claim, counterclaim. Then you have to generate the evidence. Let's say, for example, in the real case, you have experts reports about the accident, and there's a lot of course, bureaucracy, but necessary bureaucracy. So it's like comparing oranges and apples. So you have to compare the decision making part, and that's a lot less. That takes a lot less time than for a judge to decide. Let's say 1 month, let's say 2 weeks, and it's still Claire's is still faster in that way. But in I think that in cases where you don't have to produce so much evidence, that because all the evidence you have is digital, and it's easy, and you're filing that evidence with your claim. Let's say small consumer claims like the ones that we have with Lemon, for example. In those cases, Kleros can be extremely faster than traditional methods. And even if you compare it with, let's say, consumer protection offices, where in Argentina you may take 1 month, 2 months, even 3 months to solve a case in these consumer protection offices, because they are overwhelmed with cases. So there, Kleros is a real solution, because you can solve your case in just a matter of days against months.
Interesting. Yeah. So maybe one thing that is kind of revolutionary, that maybe we don't talk much about, is that a court that has a fixed number of jurors, they will always have a limited bandwidth, right, to solve cases. And in Kleros, since you have a open court where people can join and solve more cases and also get more rewards, this makes it more flexible, right? Because if there are lots of cases, let's say hundreds of cases, then jurors are not enough to cover, the current jurors are not enough to cover all these cases, then there's an incentive for more people to join and become jurors, right? So this will be something interesting to see. And see how the dynamics will play out when we start receiving more cases. And nice. I don't know if there's anything else that we can talk about this integration. I believe we mentioned the most interesting part. Oh, just would like to expand on one of the objectives of this collaboration with Mendoza, that they want the citizens to be a part of the process, right? And as Marco said, we will be working on workshops for people from Mendoza to learn about Kleros and enjoy the courts. But there's also this technical part that we have been studying for a long time now, and that will be ready to be implemented after the Kleros 2.0 is launched, which is to create courts where only citizens or only people with a given NFT or what that fulfills certain criteria is able to be sorted and get a case. And for this, of course, there are a couple of developments that we need to make. One of these is Kleros 2.0, that will have this new module to sort jurors, and the other part is how to certify the jurors, right? So we have a couple of ideas on how to do it. I don't know, Marcos, Facundo, I don't know if you can talk about this. already, but there's also a lot of research behind this on how to make it work and how to make it more secure and robust. And I really recommend checking William's video about this. William is our lead researcher. So, Marcos, do you have any comments about the workshops or the SPTs for Mendoza?
Yeah, about the workshops and SPTs, we are still exploring. Again, if we are going to do this specific court for just for jurors in Mendoza, that's the idea. And yes, we are going to do some presential workshops, and then we are going to do some tutorial, like video tutorials, for people that it's interesting. Of course, if you have any idea, we are happy to listen you. But again, this is something that we still didn't decide. But yeah, for the moment, that's the idea: presential workshops and video tutorials. Actually, we know that today we have some people from Mendoza that are current jurors in Kleros. So I don't know. We need a few new new jurors, but like the idea is to have, I don't know, at least 20, and if we already have five, we need 15 more jurors. It's not that we need 100 jurors, but yeah, of course, these workshops and videos are going to be very useful for us. About the SPTs, that's something that we are still exploring too. I don't know if we can say what we have been working there, so maybe it's better to wait for Federico. And yes, I think those are the most important things for Mendoza. Then about another update from the business development team. Yesterday we had a very interesting talk with a very interesting talk with a digital bank from Argentina that is very important here. Actually, they talked to us for the first time a few months ago, and this week they came back to us again because they want to explore this integration. For the moment, it's not closed, but it's a good news that these important companies know Kleros and want to integrate us. Then we have some exploratory calls with some Web3 companies. Today I have one with a marketplace. Then I know Wang Yan was speaking. I think it was with another marketplace, and we have Juan and Alex in Portugal, right? Jean, they are going
Yes.
to be part of an incubator or of a
Hackathon. Yeah. They are working on a hackathon project for using the Kleros snapshot for, if I'm not mistaken, to make Zuzalu events, these pop-up cities, have like a shared treasury or manage their treasury with Kleros as the arbitrator for proposals or something like that. It will be better to have them to talk about this next week after they finish the project.
Okay, yeah, and those are the most important things from the BD side from this week.
Awesome. I think we could also mention that apart from Mendoza, there's another jurisdiction that is making a pilot very similar to it. We cannot say which jurisdiction, but there's some information there is public. If you look for it, you can find it. But we hope the results that we've got are good. So we hope that this progresses into something equivalent to Mendoza.
Yeah, maybe Facundo wants to go more in detail there. I think we already gave some updates about this. I think it was last week or the other one. This first pilot case was already solved. The jurisdiction, we can say the jurisdiction is Buenos Aires, For the moment, it's not more than a pilot case, just to show them how Kleros works, because they were interested in knowing how Kleros could fit for them. So yes, that was the idea of the first pilot case. And of course, we will come here and tell you new updates if we have them. Well, for the moment, it's just that. I don't know, again, if Facundo wants to add something else about this pilot case.
No, I think it's still early to draw any conclusions, but yeah, we're working with people from the government of Buenos Aires because they are interested in Kleros as a potential solution for alternate dispute resolution systems in the city. But yeah, we'll keep you posted on any updates.
Awesome. Well, from my side, I have a couple of things that I would like to bring your attention to. We recently launched Proof of Humanity V2, and there's a upcoming update that will lower the deposit. It will be it's cross chain now, and you can use Gnosis chain to save on fees and have like a lower deposit. So I recommend checking it out and preparing your submission to register. There will probably be some incentives to do so, so pay attention to that. Another thing is that we just finished the first month of the renewed incentive program for Curate rewards, and this time we are only rewarding entries of tags, contracts, and domains that were not registered before on the block explorers of a couple of different networks. So we had, I believe, 200 entries or so that will be now be published on these block explorers. I recommend checking it out also because there's since we changed the rules of the game, there's now some opportunities to tag these contracts. And apart from that, we have the ITQ registry program. There, we are giving $200 for each entry for the first 10 entries. I think we had about 5 entries, so there's still opportunity to get some rewards from that. And these first entries are now getting published to Etherscan and Block Explorers as well. I think it will be probably duplicate the entries that we have in these services. So this is pretty nice. The final numbers we will be publishing later this week. Where else we have if you like prediction markets and if you are following the US elections, we have now a great contest with Forland. Forland is a social prediction market, and we have 12 I don't remember the exact number, but we have lots of prizes in PNK for the top 100 predictors, and there's still lots of opportunity to participate. I would say that if you could share with your friends and your family and everyone that you know that knows crypto, they will be very thankful because there's lots of chances to get in a prize in PNK, and this could be their first time getting PNK and joining the courts. So that's pretty cool, and the prizes for the first the top 3 are huge. I believe more than $1,000 in PNK. They could also be a kind of a whale in the system. So I would definitely recommend doing that. And it's free to participate. You don't need to. You just need to create an account and answer a couple of questions. So I think that's the most important things that we have to share. One thing that I believe that I really recommend anyone that following Kleros to check is the William video that we posted last week about research directions. on Kleros, because we have a program with Oxford to grant the tuition fees for someone that wants to do their PhD about decentralized justice. And William recorded this really long video, but also very comprehensive, and that mentions lots of different attacks and design decisions and ways that we think about Kleros. And it's a deep dive on lots of different ways of understanding Kleros. And it's I believe it's one of the best videos about Kleros that we have so far, but really recommend checking it out. And this video will be used for people that are interested in researching Kleros deeply, but it's also useful if you're a Kleros community member that wants to learn why we made a couple of decisions, and especially how Kleros v2 will be developed, and which systems that we're thinking about on how to improve Kleros. So yeah, about Kleros 2.0, one more thing about that is last week or 2 weeks ago, we mentioned that our deadline for getting the first cases on a simplified version of V2 is before DevCon, and DevCon is coming on November. So we are looking forward to getting these first cases out, and there will probably be low value cases like cases from Lemon or Kleros Enterprise, and it will be another great breakthrough. I recommend following our Telegram group for more news about that. Okay, I think that's it for today. Next week we'll probably have Federico back with us and William. So thanks everyone for attending and listening, and see you on Telegram and Twitter.
Bye bye. Have a nice week.
Bye bye.
Bye. Thanks.